everybody, to another episode of Hairyman Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. So glad you could all be here. We got some great stuff coming up. This is another Paranormal Potpourri Part 2, UFO hoaxes. And I have some great guests for y'all tonight. Let me tell you, I'm stoked. We were backstage. I'm just so excited to get this going. It looks like the chat is going good. So let's bring on my guests. Oh, finally, I didn't think he was gonna make it, but it's looks like Enzo's finally here.
Hey. Sorry, I had to leave the saucer double parked outside. I think it'll be fine though.
You were cutting it kind of close there, buddy.
Time, space, it's all relevant. All
of it. It just makes it all worthwhile for you to be here. Let me tell you, buddy. But where's your emergency guest mode?
You can do that.
I love it. And our other guests flew in. They helicoptered in actually, and
black helicopter.
They're coming in. They're coming in hot, all the way from the East Coast. So I'd like you all to give a warm welcome to my next guest, and that is Anthony from Unidentified S4.
Hello. Thank you, General, for the ride. Tell the boys I said I appreciate it.
The General.
Welcome. And Ron Mason, Cosmic Neighbors. Welcome.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me, Nikki.
It's a pleasure, really, guys. It is. I'm going to lower that a little bit. And so Anthony, yes. He is right up my alley, people. Let me tell you, he explains the UFOs and the paranormal, and he a man from my own heart, because he likes to discuss the hoaxes and the scammers and let everybody know what's going down. Right. So I love it. I loved it. I fit right in when I started watching his channel, and ecstatic to be part of that family. Let me tell you.
Love having you.
And Ron,
in emergency guest mode.
Oh yeah. And Ron has his channel, Cosmic Neighbors. You focus on the cosmos and everything within, right? All the asteroids and ETs and all of that fabulous
stuff. A little
that
bit of everything. I started off with the UFOs strictly, and then I just kind of transitioned a little over to what I love. I always loved astronomy. So, and then when we're all together, Anthony and Eric from Paranormal Highway, I'm not a skeptic, but I'm like the skeptical one out of the bunch. Like that. So.
That's me. That would be me. Hence the channel. Yeah, I'm kind of an evidence skeptic myself, and takes a lot for me to dive into that. But I'm a believer. I am a believer all the way around. So that's what keeps me here and keeps me happy. But let me take a quick look at the chat and say some hellos to who we'll see. Yeah, we're building. So first in the house, of course, was Sharon. Thank you, Miss Sharon, all the way from Belgium. Love you, gal. Thanks for coming in. Uncle Bones, good to see you. Forensic Mystics, Cassie. Oh, that girl, she's busy. She stays busy. Bat Mom, good to see you. And Eris Mona, nice to see. Or Mana, Eris Mana. That's a cool name. Good to see you. That's a new name in the chat. For me, Sandra Piper. Love you, Sandra. Angel, Purgatory Paranormal of New York. Nice. Hello. Good to see everybody here. Grasshopper and John Ayers, my brother. Love ya. Always worried about if I'm doing good. David Martin, good to see you. Love everybody. Love all the support. I do. I do. Gary Johnson, thanks for being here, buddy. Enzo, what are you doing over there? Always there all over, right?
Making sure nobody steals his UFO he's got parked back there.
That's it.
I love it. Wizard, Sasquatch Wizard, good to see you. That guy, hard working researcher. His videos, everybody, you got to go do that. Mr. Dre Fritz, hope you're feeling better, buddy. And if I missed you, you know I still love you. Okay, just so happy for you all to be here. Let's get started. So this is my series of the paranormal, right? I'm doing a three or four part series. This is part 2, UFO hoaxes. And who better to bring on than these wonderful gentlemen to help straighten me out on the whole thing? Because we all know hoaxes happen. It's sad, but they happen everywhere in all facets of the paranormal. So we're going to talk about, I forgot I had your lovely pictures up here. And if you want, I do have their channels in the description down below. So that'll there. And I will also post them in the chat here in a little bit. But we're going to start talking about this gentleman by the name of Corey Goode. Now, Corey Goode is, he's been in the community for what, over 20 years?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, about.
And well known. He is a UFO promoter, self-proclaimed deep space traveler. He has been in contact with aliens. He's worked on Gaia, which is a TV program that kind of, didn't it start out with like yoga or something like that?
Yeah, meditation, yoga.
Yeah, something like that. And it's a rather big platform. Anyway, he pulled off the major fraud for you guys' community.
You sure did.
And we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to turn this music off if I can find it. So tell me, Anthony, when was the first time you came into contact with Corey Goode's stuff, online? What was his most amazing thing that you thought, oh my God, this guy's, so
I never bought into him, to be honest with you.
Never.
Because the whole blue avian chicken thing and the whole secret space super assassin soldier thing, I just never subscribed to that whole thing. I was too far out there for me. Med beds, and it just reminded me too much of Star Trek and Star Wars type bite-offs, so I never bought into it, but I followed his work just to see, what was going on. So I would have to say, has to be a good 14, 15 years ago was the first time I heard about him.
Wow. So for those of you who don't know, he says that over 20 years, he was in part of this project. Was it Solar Warden or a Navy secret space program that patrols our solar system? And he had contact with ETs and inner Earth civilizations and all of that. Okay. But it turns out he just made it up. He made up the whole thing. Right. He had many different things he'd like to term were his own. He was also one of the main guys that I guess came up with this blue avian.
Right. That's his intellectual property, that blue avian. So basically he wrote the whole comic book, we'll call it, on the blue avians, the Anshar, which are another race of beings, the secret space program, how these secret space super assassins would fight these extraterrestrials, and if they were shot or an arm was cut off or whatever the case may be, they were put into med beds and they were rejuvenated and healed so they could go back out and finish their 20-year tour on these other planets. It was all a bunch of nonsense. I mean, I give him a lot of credit because the stories are amazing if they were comic books, but I mean,
Right.
you're trying to sell it to us as the real deal, and that's where the whole I can't believe
Oh my goodness.
he's ratting himself out anyway.
So
as far as a sci-fi story, it's actually kind of good.
Yeah, it is.
But when you're charging people at meetups and selling books and pamphlets and stuff like that, saying, "Oh no, it's 100% real," that's a whole different story.
Right. And putting up a paywall and selling secret, covert, top secret lessons to people. His first lesson plan program that he did, I think he made close to $1 million on it.
oh my goodness.
Trying
Wow.
to tell
Now
them-
he's mad that he's only getting 60 grand.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Because now that he's gotten called out and his depositions have been made public, the money's dwindling. But believe it or not, there are still diehard people that flock to him and follow him, and he'll turn this whole thing around and say, "This is how the cabal turns it against us. They want you to believe that none of this is real. They want you to believe I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
It's the men in black. It's the military. It's the cabal.
Yeah, forget that I said it was all a lie. It was all made up in my head. Forget that.
Forget that it came out of my own mouth that I created everything. I actually have the videos down here for you of him actually in a court of law, under oath, in front of a judge, doing his deposition, saying, I made it all up. It's my intellectual property. And if anybody believes my story, they're nuts because I made it all up. He literally says that. And people are still following the guy.
Oh my gosh.
That.
So just for back to let everybody know, because a lot of us are just Bigfoot folks, so we don't know the whole story about Good and his workings with Gaia. Okay. So on Gaia, he worked with them for what, for a while. From
David Wilcock found Corey Good. David Wilcock is another secret space guy. He's in the know. He talks to Saint Michael. He's got superpowers.
Oh yeah, is that the guy that wants to sit and pee or pee
That's
in
right.
the tub or something?
Yeah.
I have heard about him.
And it'll strengthen your super hoax powers. That's David Wilcock. Please do not take a bath in urine because you will not get superpowers. I promise. Ron tried it last night, and
It doesn't work. I tried.
I know.
Thank you, Anthony. I told you keep that.
Oh wait,
between us.
it has to be your own pee. I've been doing it wrong all this time.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I didn't.
He doesn't have like a
Tell me
group
that.
of 12 guys pissing in the bathtub for him so they can get magic powers. It's got to be your own. And then they adopted Emery Smith, and they became a trio selling their secret space fantasies. And it's just a bunch of nonsense. And I feel bad for the people that spend tens of thousands of dollars going to these events and hearing all this nonsense. And there's some people that are just so devoted to wanting to believe they'll give you their last dollar. These guys are like the evangelistic priests of ufology. So that's basically what you're buying into when you buy into their narrative. So
I was going to say they're like the Amway of ufology.
Right.
That's what they are, and it's incredible. That's how I seen before I got into the whole creating a channel. I seen him about 4, maybe 5 years ago. Just so happens I see a YouTube video. He looks like he's in this. He's on this little stage. It looked like he was like in Florida or something, and he was talking to. It looked like a bunch of seniors. And when I heard the story coming out of his mouth and how much he was making, that really started piquing my interest. And I started looking into him, and it was just unbelievable what this guy, what people will actually not only believe, fund it, and send him big checks like
That's
that.
right. Mega bucks.
Some of these just
Gene Roddenberry doesn't even have stories like this guy. It's serious. It's crazy.
I'm telling you, Nikki, Enzo, the stories are amazing. I mean, you could really make a really good sci-fi movie out of these stories.
Yeah.
But, this guy's selling it to you in actuality. This happened. Everything he said happened verbatim. It's all real. This all happened to him. It's all nonsense. And you
Yeah,
could,
and he was popular. Look, he had
oh
that
yeah,
Cosmic Disclosure from 2015 to 2018, which was a TV series.
yes.
And did it only play on Gaia, or was it on anything else?
It's how it worked. It went on Gaia, right? But then
Yeah.
they would also do their own documentaries, like on Amazon and Netflix and any other publication that would pick them up. He's written books. He's written coloring books for children to get them started in this as young as age 7. But then they also work in conjunction, like I said, with Emery Smith and David Wilcock. So one night you'll be watching David's channel and Emery Smith will pop on, and then Corey Good will pop on. So they all worked in conjunction with each other, and they sold
Yeah.
the grift between their community. And it's just insane. I mean, they're genius for doing it, but they robbed everybody. It's all one big scam, is what it is.
Wow.
Shame.
So this is for the folks in the chat. This is what happened. My Bigfoot peoples. Back in like March of 2020, Corey Good sued Gaia. Okay.
Right.
Because alleging that they were kind of conspiracy against him and that he wanted the rights to some of the things he said. It like the bird-like species of alien called blue avians. He wanted that to be copyrighted. And it was secret space program and back the 20 and back, which was explain that one a little bit. The 20.
Yeah, let me just give the chat, if you don't mind, like a 2-minute brief synopsis on this guy.
Absolutely.
So they can be aware of anything. So Corey Good is identified as a intuitive empath, okay? I.e., Corey Good was recruited through a program that was called MyLab, which is military abduction program. At the age of 6, his indoctrination and training into a number of black ops programs. Good trained and served in the MyLab programs from, I believe it was 1976 through 87. Towards the end of his time, he was assigned to fill an IE support role for the rotating Earth delegate seat. He shared a secret Earth government group in a human-type ET Super Federation Council. So as you can hear, it sounds like these Federation characters. It's like Star Wars when you break it all down, basically. Okay, Good was then recruited into a 20 and back TM trademark program, by the way, and served with the secret space program, abbreviated as SSP, is how he goes around and lets everybody know what it is. From 1987 to 2007. Now, his assignments included the Intruder, the Intercept Interrogation Program, assignments to the ASSR, Auxiliary Specialized Space Research, and the SVR, which is an interstellar class vessel, and much more. Corey continues to recall his memories from the 20 and back program, he says, all trademarked, by the way, his intellectual property in the SSP to present day, right? But for those of us that are actual ufologists and investigators, you could go right to his house where he grew up and lived his whole life, where he says it all started, where these UFOs were landing in his backyard as a child to pick him up and take him to get him to become educated in these secret space programs. And if you go look at his house in his backyard, you couldn't fit a UFO, you couldn't fit a Matchbox car back there, never mind a gigantic spacecraft that's going to come pick him up. His neighbors in the neighborhood where he grew up, where this was alleged to happen, have also been questioned and interrogated about this, and they all said it never happened. They never seen any UFOs, no black helicopters, no men in black, no black cars. So once you do a deep dive on somebody, you can find out anything. And when you really do a deep dive on somebody and you're really boots on the ground going to find this stuff out, you just learn that the guy's a liar. And that's basically where it breaks down.
Wow. Just it's so crazy. I mean, that he went so in depth with his stories,
right?
That he probably hooked, line, and sinker on a lot of those. A lot of people in the community just pulling the wool over their eyes, which we've had a lot of those in the Bigfoot community as well. Just like Rick Dyer, right. People loved him and they were willing to give him money to see what he had or to hear the next story, what have you.
That's how it
And-
usually works, Nikki. He who has the best story has the biggest crowd. He who has the best footage, fake or not, is going to have the largest crowds. If you go on YouTube, I'm sure it's the same thing in the Bigfoot cryptid world. And if you have Bigfoot videos that are phenomenal, like clear as day, like there's Bigfoot, that's him, and it looks decent, people are going to flock to those channels.
Mhm.
Opposed to the channels that have the little dots in the sky that they're filming because they want to see the actual craft or they want to see the fur coming off the Sasquatch. So they're flocked to the stuff that looks real but's fake. And it's sad.
Right.
It's sad.
Right. And then you're completely right. They do that. But there are people like you and me, that want to tell the truth, whether you want to believe it or not, or it's our opinion, about this stuff. But I think the more we talk about it, it's good for the community because at least we make people think about it.
Right.
We make people realize there are red flags because you can say that on any Facebook channel, UFO or Bigfoot, and say, well, there's a lot of red flags with that. And there are people who say, what red flags? What are you talking about?
Right.
Because all they do is see the surface. They just see that photo and want to believe so much that it's real, that they'll just take it.
There are true stories. There are real people that have had real experiences. Things that go bump in the night are real, but they're few and far between. They don't happen on a daily basis to the same people. It's like 1% out of a million you're going to see something like that. You know what I mean? So keeping that in mind, these guys have new stories coming out every other day. So once they get a taste of the big money, they're like, what can we grift on next? What can we do next to make our next $1 million? We got to make the story good. Let's sit down, get a good story going. We'll all practice it until we know it back, front, and forward, and then they just run with it, and they all
Right.
back into this grift up.
And they have fans
Laughing all the way to the back.
that are like fanatical, like that. They truly just believe there's nothing. I'll put it this way: a lot of the fans, and I'm not trying to say because to each their own, right? But that guy on Ancient Aliens, Childress?
Oh, David.
The guy that like a hairbrush, you could drop one and he'll say, oh, that was an alien pool. That had to be
It was in
aliens.
San
or something
Jose
like
that I
that.
was
Right?
very curious about
You
the
know,
giant stone walls.
I love Enzo. He's always ready to go, man. He's always got it ready to go.
Well, case in point, if Enzo thought it was important enough to put in his pop-up,
That's
you know
right.
that guy is really,
That's right.
That's the thing. I mean, I had a person, when I made a video about when Corbell came out with that pyramid video, and I talked about that I believe, after investigating, I believe it was Jones. I had an actual person use a disposable email address and send me an email and say that, called me every name in the book about that I'm an idiot, this and that my kid should die of cancer.
Oh, gosh.
I know, raw as that. And I was just like, that was the wake-up call of me coming into the community, like with a channel. I said, okay, don't read the emails no more.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't like to be told different stories or different ways of thinking than their own.
Right.
They're very solid in.
They're afraid to see the truth, Nikki, because even when I showed his 6 series of court depositions that came directly from the attorneys that were there, I had people actually email fans of his tell me that this is CGI and that's somebody else doing a court deposition, and you took excerpts from his voice and you superimposed his face over this guy. I'm like, are you really that nuts?
Goodness.
Are you really that nuts?
These depositions are out. They're public, for they weren't really supposed to be, though. He didn't really want those depositions to be seen.
He tried very hard to stop it, but it's public knowledge. It's public information.
So in this court case, he was trying to sue many different people who were using his terms, what he was claiming were his intellectual property.
And he was also suing the producer from Gaia TV, whose name I don't want to mention.
It's out there if you want more information.
It's out there, but also suing, producers from Gaia TV as well, because in turn they too were calling him out on this nonsense. And once they did that, and he saw that it could hurt his intellectual property. Well, in good fashion for Corey Good, because he's known to sue everybody, he opened up multiple lawsuits and said, if I can tie this up in court for the next 20 years, people will just forget about it.
Oh my goodness.
And that's what he tried
crazy.
to do, but he wasn't expecting for the depositions to get out of him telling everyone that it's a lie. And once that happened,
and you can kind of see when he is talking, he's thinking how he can word that, his answers, and to not implicate himself too much.
Yes.
I could tell that. So which one of these that you sent me do we need to look at first?
They're in no particular order. You just pick any one you want. They're a couple seconds long, but
okay.
Anthony,
yes.
Do you have the delusion one?
Yeah, I have both of them down there.
Get that.
Oops, wrong thing. Hold on. Let's see.
Oh man, try the other one. I guess that one has no volume. Sorry
Way to go, Anthony.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that one says it's muted.
MOV file. You can try the next one.
Okay. Oops.
There you go.
No,
training that I did have and the experiences that I did have, I extrapolated this stuff out and created it.
Okay, but it's part of your dream or delusion, you call it, correct?
With whatever y'all want to call it.
Well, what do you call it?
I call it my intellectual property.
Okay. And you state you've gone away for over 20 years and you come back and you haven't aged, correct?
Well, the 20 and back story in the book is that you're taking off planet, you serve 20 years, your age regressed, and you're put back in time to where you were first removed.
Is that the story, or is that what happened to you?
It is the story.
So it's not what happened to you?
Not necessarily.
Well,
not necessarily.
He tells you right there that, he created all this, he made it all up, and it's all part of his intellectual property. I'm looking for the other short clip that I have. I'll see if I can find it while we're talking.
And what was I going to say? I'm blown away with how he kept saying, well, it was a story, but you take it how you want, and he didn't want to say, flat out, I made it all up, but he did, he's kind of.
But he did eventually, because I think at one point.
Yeah, I have it. I'm just looking for it. I haven't seen it.
So did you ever go to space? And he had to say no. Like
I remember hearing that.
Like that, Yeah, he never said I lied. I just don't know if what's he more embarrassed about? Getting caught lying or that glove he was wearing? I don't know.
I'm like, ooh, Michael Jackson?
Homage to Michael Jackson there with the glove.
Yeah. I don't think he ever thought that was going to see the light of day. So he went in there with his woohoo like that.
He's a piece of work, Nikki.
Yeah.
To work.
Isn't it also true that there were other folks out there that were courting Gaia with a similar sort? Oh, well, I was in the secret space program too, and I did the 20 and back and all of that.
There's so many of them, and some of them have even had the guts to come out and say they were Navy SEALs. Okay. That I actually got on the internet and got in touch with Don Shipley, who's a senior chief for the United States Navy SEALs, SEAL Team 2. And he came back and said these guys were never Navy SEALs. He's looked in the database. These guys are all fabrications, all figments of their imaginations, and it's all stolen valor. And that's another big problem I have, because when you're stealing valor from our vets, never mind, but from our Navy SEALs that go out on a day-to-day basis to defend this country so we can sleep in peace at night, I have a big problem with that. And Gaia or any other publication that's going to put that stuff forward should be held accountable for that. Because stolen valor is messed up, and you should be prosecuted for that. So
I agree.
Yeah, to the full extent of the law.
That's crazy. And there was a lot of people listed as on that court thing. You know, the claimants, the defendants, the counter defendants, cross defendants. There's a big list of names associated with these cases. His Good Enterprise Solutions that's the plaintiff. That's his LLC, I guess, is incorporated. It's incorporated. But
He
many
knows how to
others.
make money. He's not how to make money, Corey. Good, I'll tell you that. Every little thing he does or created automatically becomes his intellectual property. He gets it copyrighted. He gets it published. He makes sure he's got his name all over everything, so nobody can take it once it goes out. And God forbid you use it, you will get lawsuits. There are small YouTubers that he has tried to sue as well, just for talking about it.
Wow.
I want to say something because I was looking at Bat Mom in the chat or something says that that Corey Good never said that he lied or never admitted to any. Well, there is something called lying by omission. So when you're telling people and you're charging people that you're fighting space wars and doing all this stuff, but then on the oath you say, no, I never been to space. That means you were lying. You know what I mean? So he doesn't have to say, yes, I lied. He did lie. As soon as he admitted he was never to space.
Because over the 20-year span, he has been at so many conferences and what do you guys call your main one of those big
like UFO con or
those
UFO
things.
Expo
And he got paid a lot of Expo. That's what I was thinking of. A lot of money to do those speaking things. Sure. So, and in all of that, he was saying all of this this happened to him. He's telling his story like it was him who went through all this for years and years.
File into an MP4 for you. I think this is the second one we were missing without volume before.
Okay.
I hope it's the one
that I dramatized to create
and
this.
so people are delusional if they believe it.
They're delusional if they believe they were in the secret space program and in contact with the Anshar, who are my creation.
He lied about it all. It was all part of his creation. He's telling you right there. He made it all up.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say, unless he's not going to just come out flat and say, I lied. He's gonna dance around in any way he can because don't forget, he's suing people. People.
And there's something that we forget about in this whole thing, right? So during this, because that's one thing with narcissists. So he started just volunteering information about how the money he was spending that he was not supposed to touch. He opened himself up to other lawsuits now. Big time. Wow. Yeah, because the guy, the company with the money that he had control of the account, it's not supposed to be touched. He decided he was just going to start taking out what he believed was his, like that, and spend it. And he said that, and the lawyer said, whoa, what? Wait, are you saying you spent it? And he said, yeah. He totally opened himself up right there. Bang.
Wow.
Like, a few times he said that, or what he was spending it on. Like that. So he opened himself up big time to not only lawsuits from counter lawsuits, but like the IRS is going to come down on him big time.
Tax fraud and the whole spiel, yeah.
Right. And so this barely came to an end. December of this last year, correct? Was when it finally disseminated that. Was it just what do they call it? Dismissed? Is that what the whole case was dismissed, or was there actually a finding either way?
Well, they just did the court deposition like a month or so ago. I don't think anything's been dismissed yet.
That was just the deposition.
That was just the deposition.
Yeah,
I think it's coming up in April or June. I think the trial's coming up still later this year.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I made that mistake too about a month ago. I did the same thing.
Yeah, because I got tangled up in, I don't know what I found here, but it had the date of December 6th of 2022, and it said that it was some kind of emergency motion, and that Mr. Good be dismissed. It is further recommended that in the part denied without prejudice in part. I don't know. I guess there was so many different things going on there that she's just.
I think what that was, they were trying to prevent these depositions from being public. They were trying to keep them on lockdown, and they didn't succeed. I think that's part of what you're looking at.
Right.
There was so much. I was just trying to pick and choose because I knew you guys would straighten me out. So
no. It's good though.
Once all these depositions were dropped on YouTube and they became public knowledge in the community, he had to try to, put roadblocks up wherever he could and stop it because, he had to start welling the dams because his financials were going to flood out. People were going to know the truth. And this guy was going to stop making money. He had to do anything that humanly possible to stop it. So he's not a stupid man, but this was the last clip that I had that was short. If you want to try it, he said something else here where he puts his foot in his mouth too.
Okay.
Listen, I have told you that I made up stuff on top of it, and in this book it says so. So, yes, I did make up stories about the secret space program, extrapolated off of my experiences that I told you about earlier.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. So you stated in one place that you've done 3 of these 20s and backs. That's an extrapolation. That's not reality.
Okay. If y'all took about 10 minutes to read this, you will see it talks about Corey Good, the real person, and Corey Good, the persona that this stuff is based off of. All you have to do is read through this, and I mean, anyone in the jury will be able to read through it and make sense of that. But me delivering my intellectual property as if it's all absolutely.
As if it's absolutely true. It's not. That's what was the end quote. And you can find that on YouTube. It's available everywhere. There's six 2-hour full length depositions that you can watch in length.
And that whole thing, if you watch even just one of those segments, it's all like that. Just constantly trying to weasel word out of things and make it seem like it's something that it isn't.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's crazy. It's going that far. And this whole David Wilcock Wilcock, he's all in that as well.
David Wilcock, I think, is having a nervous breakdown because he was putting a lot of money into this company called Stravati, where he promised everybody he was going to make this hover flying car. And basically the people from Stravati never created anything, and they took the money and they ran and they left him high and dry and broke. So then his wife left him, and he's having a nervous breakdown now. And all of a sudden now he's talking to St. Michael the Archangel, is giving him new information that he's going to tell the world. So don't leave him. The grift goes on. Now we're gonna find out what St. Michael the Archangel has for us. So it's just one extrapolated story after another. It's amazing. We never heard of St. Michael the Archangel until he lost everything and had to create some brand new fantastic story to sell the public to make money.
Yeah. Prior to that, he was showing the 3D printed planes that when Stephen Cambion was showing that. And then I sent Cambion, because I love 3D printing. I showed him the models that the guy was using. I found it. So that's what they did. He took that. He said, this is going to be the new anti-gravity spaceship that we're going to be building. And he said, look at it. He turns it upside down. It even has the sign of the cross on it. Meanwhile, when you have an airplane that you're printing out, that it has wings and a fuselage,
it's a cross.
The support materials underneath have the shape of a cross, like that. And that's what he was running on. So he was mixing ufology and religion and getting the best of both worlds, standing both.
Right.
Like that. That's when he came out with his cross.
And not only that,
$333.
right? Yeah, just pay $333, and then you get through my paywall. That's how.
That's what Good was complaining about. That he made about 1.2 million on that Wilcock, and he said, and now because my name's dragged through the mud, I'm only making 60,000.
60,000.
Oh,
But
my goodness.
I have to give credit where credit's due, because Stephen Cambion from Truth Seekers brought all of this to light. He did all the in-depth legwork and investigative work. And if it wasn't for his fruition and fortitude, I would have never followed his lead and did my due diligence to do the best I can to find out and research what's going on too. Because one person can't do it alone. We all have to do it together. And if we all stick together and we get these people out of our community, it's going to be a better place. We all make mistakes, but we all make mistakes. And when we make mistakes and we admit we did something wrong, and our friends accept us back, and we got to do better from them. But these people never come forward and say, I made a mistake or I lied or anything. They just keep the grift going, and they keep more grifts going on top of grifts on top of grifts. And it's a sick, sad system that's allowed to happen. And it's got to be stopped one way or another. That's how I look at it. Anyway.
I agree. I agree. And Enzo recommended that I watch Steven's Truth Seekers, and I liked him. He was straight. He was flat out.
And he's got the best laugh on YouTube.
Yeah. he would laugh about things, but he was telling you just how it is. This is what happened. This is, and that's what I needed. When I was doing my little research, I was like, yeah, tell it to me. Just tell it to me how it is.
He's a good friend of Ron and I. We go up to his house. We slept there up in his cabin. We spent time together. He's a great investigative journalist. He's on the phone all day. He's out in the field all day researching. The guy's always he's always got his nose in a story, and he's always out there getting the information the way you're supposed to.
I could tell he was very thorough. Very thorough.
So
he
really creeped out by his persona.
Yeah.
Watching him, he has when you're watching him, he sits in front of his computer, and then he's got screens on both sides of him, and it's kind of
it's very entertaining.
But he is a good guy, because like you said, we went and spent the weekend over in his cabin and everything. So you have online Stephen, and then you have
even the person.
Yeah, Stephen the person, but the brain is still all in there on the same person.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure I could tell.
Camera goes on. That's it.
Very smooth. I like that. He did not stumble anywhere. He just said how it was.
And I'll tell you why, because he, like us, we don't wake up in the morning when we have a show in the afternoon and say, all right, I'm going to do a show about this. And we start researching, 2 hours before we go live. We research for a couple of weeks before we do the stories. Stephen researches for a couple months, sometimes even a year before he'll let his story go. So he knows it back, front, inside out. I mean, he's a very, very good investigator. Give him a lot of credit.
Wow. Yeah. No, I could tell. And I like that. I even sent Enzo a text saying, I like this guy, Stephen.
He did.
He's great.
So I am going to be dropping the Oh, no, I'm not, because I just messed everything up. Your link in the chat for you guys. Let's see if it worked. There we go. Did the whole thing go? See, look, now only half of it. The link didn't go in there. So weird. I'm gonna figure this Stream Deck out one day.
How you using?
See, it didn't put. It just put the first part.
That's all right.
What is it doing?
How weird.
Are you using Stream Deck to insert the link in?
Yeah. Well, I tested them out yesterday. They worked, but now today they don't work. That's just my luck.
You know what I'll do? What I'll do? I'll give you Anthony's in private chat. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're in the link, but they're in the description below. I already have them set up there. If one of my, I don't even know if my mods. Yeah, Sandra's here, or whoever, Donald, Grasshopper. If one of you can grab those links and post them, they can get those. But very good, very good. It's interesting, it's so thorough, such a big thing he did. I mean, he even has a video game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about the video game.
But
I like how the
I've not seen
Cosmic
it.
Secret has that Marvel look to it, like a movie poster.
It does.
With the,
It does. Anything to sell. It's all about presentation, and they do good. They present it very well, but the stories all BS. If they would have just went and made a Star Wars, Star Trek type movie, they would have made
Exactly.
100 times more money because the story's really good. But
Yeah.
If they
it's
had
all
disclaimers
BS.
saying this is just entertainment purposes or
Right.
something like that, but
Right.
this guy's out there like getting money, and he wouldn't discriminate. It wouldn't matter if it was somebody that's 93 years old on a fixed income or whatever. Sign that SS check right over to me like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you,
St.
Uncle Bones.
Michael's gonna help you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that guy I find even more disgusting because he seen when his ufology days were kind of coming to not an end, but it was slowing down. He decided, I'm going to add the religion factor into it, and let's do that. And there's people that are truly faithful, truly believe and everything. He just plays all on that. He just, he's a predator when it comes to that,
Yeah. Well, hey, everybody loves a good Galactic Federation story.
Yeah. Especially when the person telling the story is seated on the head of the council, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
You, oh man, that's just so crazy.
I know.
But,
Wait for the Expanse to come back out.
Good for sure. So
there you go. I made it all up.
I've thought that was hilarious. Put it in here. Stunning example of fraud. Extraordinary scam. Corey Good.
That's right.
Somebody in the chat before said, it was funny, said that he turned the he took the avatar and he turned it into a chicken.
Oh,
yeah.
Actually,
isn't there a whole blue chicken thing too?
The avatar kind of got that blue looking alien from him. Actually, they changed it around to like a blue cat. But they look very similar to each other.
They do. They do for sure. Live long and prosper. John Harris. You're funny. Oh, hey, Eric. Thanks for coming in, checking out the show. I want you on my next show, Eric. I was going to send you an email today and I got busy, but my next show is going to be about aliens. I'd love for you to sit on that panel. So tell me about this whole crop circle thing. Now, I know that back in when was it? 91, a couple guys, Bauer and Worley, came forward saying, oh, we created it. We just wanted to see what would happen. And they're out there, pushing down the corn.
In 1980, Colin Andrews coined that phrase, crop circles. But the two guys that you just mentioned, they were going around and trying to take credit for all the crop circles worldwide.
Oh, that's what it was.
And then they actually followed the two of them to see how long it took them to make one crop circle. And after they followed them for, I think it was about a week, they deduced that there's no way, these two guys can travel the world doing all the crop circles, because sometimes, 2 or 3 were happening with a 1 week span, and they were still finishing like the second crop circle in another state. So there's no way they could travel all over and do it. It's just impossible. So after we found out that their claim to fame was BS, but they did make quite a few fake crop circles. But there is video footage of crops being laid down for real in real time. Not all.
I didn't even look for that.
Some of them are artist representations. Some colleges went out to try to see how fast they can do it, and then they sprayed, I think it was like metal particles in there and light doses of radiation to try to trick the general public that was going to test the crop circles for the common things you find inside a crop circle. But the way a crop circle is real, allegedly, and I don't know if they're real or fake. I don't study them, but the nodes on the wheat or the grass, there's a little node like a joint, and allegedly when the crop circle is real, that joint will grow rapidly, like maybe 8 to 10 times its length overnight, and you could see the rapid growth, and it's only in the portion that rapid growth is only in the portion where the crop circle is. But you don't find that in all these crop circles. You only find it in very, very, very few. So I'm going to say that it is possible that crafts, do this on occasion, but I'd say 99.9% of them are done by people having fun.
Yeah.
You want to see something here? Let me show you this. If I could present this, if you want, this is this is one of the guys. If you look at it, look what he actually wrote on the board. He wrote, it's called Circle Makers, like that. So, yeah, these were some of the, if I click on, let me see something here. This is some of the, that they made.
Those two guys made that one?
Yeah, this is one of the man-made ones. Right? Now, when you look at it, though,
it's not a
this is they're doing the math on it of what they're going to build. And this is Project Scientific in Progress. Please stay out until we finish. But these guys, see, these are young guys, the newer generation doing it. But because they're highly mathematical, these things, like they're precise. But when you look at that one that I showed you, this one, sorry for the fast scrolling, but if you look at the grass here, you can see how that's sloppy.
Yeah, how the
and everything,
right,
all over the place,
bumps and everything. Now it's still a beautiful pattern, but some of these other ones are just immaculate. Like, I mean, like perfect.
All the field is laid in counterclockwise position. All the grass is down the same length. So it's as if something hovered over it and just allowed everything to collapse.
That's what I mean. When you look at one of the blades of grass or whatever, it's almost impossible that each one is exactly the same size, like the bend over. You would think if they're doing something, person with a board, definitely not going to have the exact same on every one. You're going to have like creases on other stuff, but there's some that are just perfect. It's like if a big die, like a ship or something, came down and just went boom and put a press in.
Dr. Stephen Greer put forward a video of two orbs in the field, and you see these two orbs zigzagging in the field, and at the same time, the crop circles being formed. Now, I don't know how true it is or the validity of the footage, but I've seen it, and I would assume that's how it would be done. It wouldn't be a big, gigantic craft coming down and just sitting, hovering over the field, making that design. It would probably be like one of them little tiny scout orb things, zipping around and making the field drop. That's probably more what it is. They also try to say that the Earth itself can pull the wheat down and make the crop circle too. There's like some rare thing that can happen where it could pull it down in a circular pattern, but it couldn't make any of those dramatic patterns that we see. I seen it on some video. I can't remember what it was, but there was something. Let me look it up. There was something weird that happens with the Earth that it'll pull the grass down like that. I forget what it was called.
If that were the case,
I mind that I took that off. I'm sorry about that.
What's that, Enzo?
I know. I don't know, Nikki, if you wanted me to leave that up. I'm sorry that I just hit.
You're good. Yeah, you're good. Enzo?
For the natural kind of an explanation, it seems like, well, if that was the case, then that specific field that was in it would be there like every season or something like that. It wouldn't be dotted all around.
Right. And it wasn't like a fancy design or anything. It's just like a small patch that dies and falls down in a circular pattern. It was something to that effect. It was nothing crazy.
Just looking at those pictures of those guys making the ones, it seems like today you could make almost like an app for your phone with GPS and everything like that.
Right.
It's like, okay, until it says, okay, now make a right and do that. And could zonk that out pretty quick, I would imagine.
And all you need is a few boards, some sticks with rope. That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need. And an app.
Yeah. If you had the GPS app, I don't even know if you need a starting point in the middle, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible because about getting to a place without stepping, that could be done. I mean, somebody going to go through the trouble of getting there on a helicopter and going down? Who knows?
Yeah,
right?
parachute
Depends
in.
on what they're going to gain out of the hoax.
Right. Well, I have, heard a lot about where grasses won't grow in some places that are suspected to have had landings,
Real landings.
Yeah, real
Yeah.
landings of something where they've burned out the area and grass has never grown back in those areas.
Yeah.
And that's super interesting too.
It is.
Yeah. So anyway, there was a gazillion pictures, folks. I just picked a few.
Oh, yeah.
There was some that were really, really crazy, and I didn't put those ones on here because I'm like, somebody made that.
Oh yeah,
Somebody definitely made that. But it is interesting anyway. So my next one that I was interested in was this Jerusalem Lights video that was taken back in 2011, and I've heard a lot of people say this Benjamin Radford has debunked this as like some type of CGI. But let me pull up the other one. Oh, I have to be on the other one.
Oh, this is the one that shoots straight up real fast.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is one that has 4 different angles. And I hadn't heard that there were that many. Were there a lot of people who had seen this at the same time? Or no? Because there's 4 different angles here.
I do remember multiple people seeing this at the same time.
Yes.
But I don't know if they were multiple people staged in different areas
Right.
all in on it together. Because
Right.
there's a lot of that even going on today. I don't know. I remember hearing that this was proven to be a hoax, though. But then again, I wasn't there, so I really don't know. And I didn't perpetrate the hoax, so I really can't give you a definitive answer, but it does look fake.
Yeah.
And then all the blinky lights.
Yeah, I don't remember the blinking lights being part of the original story when
it first came out. Yeah.
I remember the video ending after it shoots up.
Initial flash, and then the thing just shoots straight up.
Now,
I mean,
you said,
for that part of the world, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Enzo.
Well, for that part of the world, you would expect, people are going to notice things flying around in the sky at night. It was over the temple. That could be a drone. It could be a missile. It could be an attack. It could be things like that. So I could see where multiple people from very different distances had, hey, what's this weird thing?
Right.
So I could see like where this particular video would be of something like that.
I have heard stories where people say they have witnessed something allegedly did happen that night, but it was not that dramatic. What you're seeing here was staged, but there was an alleged UFO sighting that night. I think that's what happened. I think there was a UFO sighting in that general area that night, maybe like a small orb, or it could have been a balloon in the sky that people sighted. Who knows? And then somebody took this and made it even more elaborate during the same.
But when you look at it, if you look at that again, Nikki, when it's supposedly 4 different angles, for some reason, maybe I'm wrong. When you hit play, a couple of them, 2 of them at least, I thought maybe 3. It looked like the initial flash looked like it was in the same area. On the 3, like watch, it just looks like one's closer, zoomed in, and maybe one's further.
Right. The top 2 look like they're from the same angle.
Yeah, it looks like it's the same. Yeah, it could be from the same balcony.
Oh, one zoomed in and one not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because watch when the light, see? It's like
you
get the light in the same, coming the same direction.
You're talking about the bottom 2 images, Ron?
Yes.
Yeah,
if you look
I've
at the
seen
bottom 2, it looks like the same from the same balcony. Just one,
Yeah.
like I said, is zoomed in, one isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And watch the lights. Once you see the blinking, just watch the blinking. See?
Same flash pattern.
Yeah.
Covers the same distance too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm doing what you do, Nikki. You did it the other day on our show. Remember with the one with the tree? She was in the chat going, yeah, but look at the trees.
Look at this. She was right though. She was right though. She was on point.
Is.
Well, you know, on that particular
I was
one,
loving
what
it.
I saw was not, it wasn't the trees first, but down below, right above where the car window was, I saw a reflection.
glare in the street,
Yeah, it was a glary that shouldn't have
what it
been there, in my opinion.
She was
Yeah,
right
no,
too.
that's what got me starting to scrutinize it more because that's what she said. She brought up the reflection.
And so I
now
ended up
started
playing that
going, "Find out,
video
guys."
like
Mhm.
10 times after that. I'm like, where's she seeing this? I got to see this for myself. I kept
Yeah.
going over. Nikki, write in the chat. What time frame is
And
it
it's
in? I
hard
got to get the
to
right time.
type that out, you know, hey, this is what I'm seeing, you know, but
She was right.
look to the
I love
bottom,
that.
look over here, look over there. But anyway, but Ron got me. He understood what I was trying to get at. And then he started mentioning the trees. And then you could see how it's in front of the trees and it should be behind the trees.
That's right.
Anyway, you'll have to go back on S4 to find that video, guys.
That's the problem when people send stuff and they think that we're going to just play it and we're not going to talk about it and try to debunk it. But no. We go right in for the kill.
Right. So interesting. Okay. The next one is the UFOs over London. Oh, I'm still on the wrong one. Go to the next one. Where won't it go? Oh, I'm retarded. Over here. Too many things going on at the same time over here. Come on, go. There you go. Oh my God. My mouse is so sensitive. I barely have to touch it and it goes back. Okay. Now play.
I remember this.
Yeah, a lot of people saw this thing.
Yeah.
So again, people are saying it was all staged. Everybody there was in on it and just looking up.
Now it looks like CGI. It looks like old
It does.
CGI too. Not even the new stuff. It looks like the older CGI.
And it's just everybody looking, you know, and
now if I remember correctly, doesn't a news crew step in to film as well? But the news crew that steps in to film, they had no like channel 2 or whatever on any of their equipment or microphone or any of that. There's a long version of this video.
That does sound familiar. But there was like a bunch of things flying up there, and I didn't get that. There was a black thing and 3 white things, and then that white thing. I'm like, that's a lot going on in the short span of time.
Early 2000 CGI they were using on that.
Yeah.
That's how I look in the morning when I wake up.
Just trying to make sure you're awake there, Enzo. Anyway,
I wish something like that would happen in the sky and you would catch it for real. But
it's interesting. I don't know.
Definitely CGI.
But you know, you can do this yourself. Have you ever gone out to like a park or something and then you start looking up? And then before you know it, you got everybody looking up to see.
Everybody's looking up, yeah.
But that's what they're doing right here, believe it or not. They got about 12, 15 people in a group. You go stand here, you go stand here. And when Frank starts looking up, you and Jeff start looking up. And tell Sarah over there to start looking up too. And then everybody's looking up. And then what they do after the fact is they edit in the UFOs. The only thing real in that video is the birds.
The birdies.
And just think of this: the sunlight is right above the camera. The sun would be getting lens flare. There would be a lens flare there as well, probably a green dot that we don't see. So I think it's all edited in after the fact.
Ooh, crazy!
I originally thought that's what it was that they were seeing was the lens flare. It's like, but people wouldn't be standing pointing up at the sky at that.
Filming at the sky like that, the glare from the position of the sun, you wouldn't even be able to see the blue of the sky.
Well, Western New York says, I think my BS meter just broke. No, wait, still working. Well, I picked these because I think they're I definitely think they're all hoaxes. They're all meant to just, pranks, most of them.
And these are the
You know,
ones that get
hoodwinking.
millions of views, unfortunately.
Yeah, and they give views,
Oh,
and
yeah.
people like to watch them over and over again. So it is what it is.
Yep.
Now we're gonna get
Phoenix
to my
Lights.
favorite. It's the
Yeah.
Phoenix Lights.
This
I
one's-
was living there at the time, and I saw nothing.
Really?
Oh,
I happened to be in West Phoenix, and I didn't see anything. But yeah.
I thought she was going to come out and be like, I seen the whole thing. It was
Seen
great.
it. Oh my God, that would have been awesome.
Here's my
I woke up
footage.
the next day, and it's all over the news, and I'm like, I missed it. I missed the whole thing. So yeah, I didn't see anything, but my dad swears he saw it in Cottonwood, which is like an hour north of Phoenix, near Sedona, and thought he had seen something going over, but he didn't care. So
I don't know about you. I believe this story through and through. The Phoenix Lights.
I kind of believe it too. I do not believe it's flares. I've seen flares at night, and flares fall, people.
Yeah. They fall. Very slowly, but they do fall.
Yeah, and even they're at Luke Air Force Base and Monson Air Force Base. They have, or airfield, they have those paratrooper jumpers with the flares that are on them, and those do some weird circly things, but they fall. They do end up coming all the way down. They don't stay up there for hours, or I don't even know how long.
That I don't believe about the Phoenix Lights incident is when Dr. Greer said that he was there that night doing CE5 in a building, and this is why it all happened. It was because of him. He called them in.
Of course he was.
That's the only thing I don't believe. But I do believe the Phoenix Light incident 100%.
Because weren't there two separate pieces to the Phoenix Lights? There was the lights that we just saw that everyone was outside looking at. And then there was a Delta-shaped type craft that was supposedly buzzing around. That was gigantic.
Over the park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on where you were at, Scottsdale or Superstition Mountain, people got different view of it. So some people only saw 3 lights. Some people, claim they were red, yellow. Some say they were white. It kind of varied from position to position.
On the light pollution, depending on the smog situation and all those factors, and from where you're positioned, from where you're standing to where the craft is, you're going to get a different outlook no matter where your position is. Going to be different everywhere.
Yeah.
Could it have been flares?
They never fell.
Yeah, no flares.
I mean, I'm just asking because I know I remember the story back then. I didn't follow it that much, and that was just after that I got back into the UFO thing. But I don't know, because I've heard the same thing too. There were some people said, "Oh, it was giant." Meanwhile, they couldn't see something; they just seen the lights. But some said it was a mile long or whatever, and it was coming over a mountain. Then there was some people that said the same thing, but near the same area also, saying that they only seen a couple of lights.
It was reported all over Arizona that night. So first, the lights came in over the mountain. Right. That's when I can't remember her name, but she was a lawyer or a doctor, I think. And she spotted it with her husband over her terrace. What's his name? Called in from the plane. What's the actor's name that I can't even
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
He actually radioed it in. He was in the sky when it happened. He witnessed the whole thing from his aircraft.
Right.
Cy Fymington was the governor who's standing at the time. He tried to make light of the whole situation. But then many years later, he was interviewed, I think it was like in 2020 or 2019. And he actually said he did witness the whole thing. He was out there when it happened, but he wasn't going to lose his post as governor for saying he believed in aliens. So he tried to make light of it.
Right.
But
it wasn't
he wants to say it was real, that he saw a huge Delta-shaped craft. And when he looked up at it, he could not see the stars. It was blocking out the stars. The thing was a mile wide. So, I mean,
that I believe. That I told you what happened to me here, Anthony.
Yeah, and I've had my own situation where I've seen these triangular craft. I don't know if they're military or alien, but they're real. They're real.
I couldn't see a craft. I didn't see no outline of a craft, but all I know is it went dead quiet. It was on St. Patty's Day and 2021, and it went like, I don't know if it was the fear in me that dropped out, like I couldn't hear a sound, but all I seen was the stars disappearing, and you could just feel something was moving and gone, but I could not see anything. But I seen the stars disappearing.
That's similar to mine. Yeah.
They're real.
Oh, you too, Enzo? You saw something? Or possibly something?
Was, mine had no lights, made no sound, but it was certainly a triangle type shape. And it wasn't, as it was moving from directly overhead away from where I was looking, it was blocking out stars as it went by. That's the only reason I know that there was something there. There was something solid.
Wow. That's crazy. There's your triangular one there on the bottom.
Yeah.
I love that one with the saguaro cactus right there. It's great. Loved it. But I believe in this. I do. There was hundreds of witnesses to this.
Yep.
You know, hundreds. And it was quite a stir. It did do quite a stir. I was going to ask my sister. I think she's in the chat. Did you see it, Susie? Were you living there then? What that was? I don't know. I don't know.
The one answer I would love to get is this a military craft of some kind? Was it reverse engineered or whatever? Is it our military flying these things around, or is it extraterrestrial? I really want to tend to believe it's our military. Maybe they built something that they just have not released, because we hang out with Jim Goodall, I don't know, 4 times a week, and he's spoken with everybody. Ben Rich, all the guys from Skunkworks, and Ben Rich told him to his face that we now have the technology that could take ET home. And if you thought about it, we've been there, done that, or realized it wasn't cost effective enough to do. So, I mean, to hear that from the head of Skunkworks, maybe they have this technology, you know, maybe they've already built it, and they secret let people think it's extraterrestrial, and when we really need it, we put it up and we go scare the crap out of some people or whatever, you know. But they're real, definitely real.
Dang. But in talking about the Phoenix Lights, we had another sighting in Phoenix on January 24th last week. Really? Another sighting of in the broad daylight sighting too. And I hear you guys love those ones that happen during the day.
I do.
So
there we go.
This was taken by Dave Rice, who caught this outside of his job in Coolidge, Arizona. And I've got the video as well.
Oh, great.
Let me go through this. But he's taking pictures with his Samsung Galaxy. And he flat out in the interview states that it was as big as a semi with a tractor trailer on it. Wow. He goes, it was not small. And there were 2, as you can see, one little one above the bigger one. And he says it, and you'll see the distance now that I show the video. Okay, this is number 4. Come on. Next. I don't know.
When's that memory install for the new computer?
Hopefully Wednesday. It's right here too. It stares at me every day. My memory. Look, I really do have it. I just need to install it. And installing into an iMac is like freaking brain surgery.
No, it's right. Yeah. If you need help with that, let me know. It's not that difficult.
Mine is an old one, dear. You need to
right behind the stand.
You have to you have to crack the screen to get into mine.
Oh no!
You didn't get this from Turd Phase of Moon, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't believe anything they put up.
I don't know if I don't think you should play it then.
No, the interview. I got it for the interview mostly. because this guy, I don't know. I don't think this guy has anything to do with the.
I've sent my stuff into them a long time ago too. Before I knew better.
This is the video that
they took this off of something else, so it was not originally from them.
Yeah,
it's just.
I think he posted this on his Facebook or something like that. Okay. That's where everybody's grabbing it from.
Oh, oops, that was me. I told you I barely touch it, and it wants to do something else.
You keep trying to steer us back to the Kurt Russell part. That's the part that
she wants to see
Nikki
Kurt.
Likes.
Come on. Okay. Now I'll leave it alone now. Don't. Down. Oh, I thought I did it again. So, yeah, it's making its rounds too. It happened the 24th. This was just came out on third phase a couple days ago.
Way out there.
But it's way out there.
That's legit video you're looking at there.
Right. So it's well out behind that lamppost or light post or whatever that is.
Yeah.
So that'd have to be fairly big.
That object's got to be 50 foot, 75 foot diameter.
It's, I don't know. I thought it was
maybe even 100 foot.
How big did the eyewitness say he thought it was?
He said it was at least the size of a semi with a 48-foot trailer.
Okay, so like 75 foot. That's a classic disc shaped craft. Gotta give them credit on the enhancements. They did a good job pulling it in.
He said that what got his attention was that he saw something sparkle. He saw something like aluminum.
And you know what? If you look on the craft there, you can see a white spot on it, and that would be the sun reflecting off of it. So, I mean, that coincides with his story right there, because I noticed that too.
He said that's what made him look over, and he thought, that maybe it was a helicopter or something.
Yeah, I never understand. If that was me there, I would have been running to that thing to get right underneath it, like Walton. I would have hopped that fence, man. I would have been under that thing like lightning.
But that looks far away.
It's far. I would have got as close as I could.
That he couldn't leave his post because he was at work, and that he even had to stop. He didn't want to stop filming it, but a shipment was coming in, and he knows that he's not allowed to record that shipment. I don't know where exactly he works at or what he deals in, but he says, I'm not allowed to record what I was doing. So he had to stop filming. And then he said he went in for a minute or two, and he ran back out to see if he could still catch it, and it was already gone.
But the thing is, like,
see the white dot on it? That's the sun glinting on it.
Depending on what, that could easily be, it could be aliens, or it could be them testing. That could be fake, or it could be them testing a device,
an aerial vehicle
like that with new propulsion or whatever, like that. It could be anything.
What is that desert area there? That mountain range? Do we know what this
Coolidge?
is?
This is that would be.
Is this a military base or?
No, it's like Coolidge, Arizona is like south of Phoenix, isn't it? It's a little bit south of Phoenix, and
so BLM.
I want to.
Vegas connects to that, right? Doesn't Vegas, Arizona, and Utah all connect? I think.
So that's building land management property, then? No.
I mean Nevada. Nevada and Arizona. So.
Where's my map?
Right, Ron? Well, Enzo, building land management property, that would be on that now?
So
Bureau of Land Management.
Bureau of Land Management. Sorry.
So yeah, Coolidge is southeast of Phoenix. Okay, and Vegas is way northwest. So this is like coming in from Tucson. You would pass Coolidge. Coolidge, Florence, that section there. And those mountains would have to be, Mount Lemming would be like south of there. So it's that mountain range. I don't know what that mountain range is called.
No. Is that 2 of them there?
It's not that big, but yes, there is 2. Now, I've traveled that road many, many times going back and forth from El Paso to Phoenix. And when you're coming in from I-10 to Phoenix, you see the Phoenix International Airport. So there is constant airplanes coming in and out of there. It's a really spectacular sight when you're driving that at night, because they don't look like airplanes until you get closer. So it looks really crazy. Now, also another big thing is blimps in Arizona. We have a lot of blimps, and one of them is the Goodyear blimp, because in near those areas is the Goodyear blimp, Goodyear, Arizona. So I thought, oh, that's just one of those blimps. But you can see the hump on the bottom of blimps, where they steer.
That's a blimp.
So that's not a blimp.
No.
That is not a blimp.
Not a hot air balloon. It's not a balloon because it's not drifting in the wind at all. But like Ron said, it could be an unmanned aerial vehicle of some kind being tested, like a drone, because the military does have UAVs that look like that. That same shape, that round, disc shape. Let's see if I can.
If anybody ever wants to look at, I'm friends with Mike Huntington on Twitter, but on Facebook, if you see his Facebook page, this guy has, probably thousands, but of all types of drones, UFOs, all the photos, military ones that never seen the light of day. So you'll be surprised what they actually have and shapes. It's amazing.
Let's stop that. And so those are the new Phoenix UFOs. I think they look interesting. Definitely interesting to me.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't say what it is, but it does definitely. Oh, did you just send me something?
That was me. This is the red mark there. That's Coolidge, Arizona. See Phoenix here. Here's Tucson. This gray shaded area over here, that's all along just south of Route 8, all the way to Yuma, is a military training area. They have bomb ranges and stuff like that. Anthony, who was the fella that I forget his YouTube, used 18-wheel something.
He's on 18 wheels.
Remember that crazy video he had?
Yeah.
It was right around this area. So anything pretty much south of Route 8, because he was somewhere in here, as I recall.
Or X1.
All this gray. I don't remember which one
with
it
the
was.
flashlight.
X1.
The flashlight.
Yes.
That's X1.
Right.
Yeah.
That this whole area is a military training area. They do a lot of night vision training. There's bombing ranges out there. There's live fire areas. It's a huge, huge area. Now, as far as our video that we just saw, I don't know what direction he was shooting in. I doubt he was seeing all the way over where this gray area is, but maybe it was something that drifted out of there. I don't know, but
possibly.
Just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah. Interesting. It's still interesting.
Oh,
for sure.
It's a great video. I'm sure people will be diving into that for the next couple of months. Somebody will come up with answers, most likely,
Yeah, for sure.
Figure out what's going on.
Sure. So now it is time for
Show me what you got.
Jim, you heard them said, show me what you got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
And so for today, we've got the lovely camel squatch.
Whoa.
So,
Tree roots.
Yes, somebody believes that this is cloaking Bigfoot,
No.
and there was a whole wide range of photos like this, with various degrees of blurriness. But I thought it looked like a camel, so I added it on here. I thought it was cool.
It really does. It does.
That's a root ball right there. That's a tipped
But
over
yeah,
tree.
Yeah.
it's a root ball, and I don't know. That's what we've got to look forward to the new year. Is a lot of this.
What a great way to start the new year, right?
Yeah.
That might be what that thing you left at Cammy's looks like now, Anthony.
I just kicked him out. He's gonna have to come back.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Enzo. That was my fault. I wanted to kick out the map that he
Emergency guest no longer needed. All right.
fired.
Now he's gonna come back on light.
This is what I did. I did to Enzo. I blew him out of the water. Yep, I blew him up.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna come in some way creative.
He's gonna be so mad.
I say to Ron all the time, if we go out on a Bigfoot investigation, right, and the people we're out with, because we're not Bigfoot investigators, we dabble in it, we enjoy the topic, right? And if somebody pointed out, that looks like a Sasquatch over there, I'm gonna run out there and go check it out, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, me too.
Right away.
Come back, Enzo.
It'll be my luck. It'll really be a Sasquatch.
Yeah, it'll run back after you, right?
Tree knock me.
Enzo, come back. We can't do this without the science officer.
Imagine Anthony.
He's gonna be so mad. You guys don't even know.
He's burning. He's burning. It's Rasputin. It's not Enzo. It's Rasputin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm doing this all by myself. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's okay.
I was trying to move the map out of my way, and
Nikki.
Yeah.
You kicked him out.
Okay, moving on.
Obviously, you have found my replacement with the two gentlemen above. I will no longer need it here.
You want Ron and I to kick ourselves out so you can move up?
No.
Okay.
I'm at the bottom where I belong.
Oh no, you don't.
Peekaboo. There's Bigfoot.
We have a little peeker there, little peek. I thought it was interesting, but there's a video.
I see when I see photos like this, and I don't want the Bigfoot community to be mad at me, but I always think like somebody was out there with his friend. He put his hood on to his jacket and said, "Let's go get a picture." And
yeah, the majority of them are that.
Yeah.
They are. That's exactly what they are, and. Just
because Nikki, when I always hear like Bigfoot's massive, he's gigantic, right? So like if I'm gonna picture Bigfoot peeking out behind a little thin tree like that, I think I'm gonna see more of them, right?
Right.
You're talking 1,000-pound animal. I think I'm gonna see like a good 4.5 feet of them would be one.
Right.
Hand.
They always talk about the barrel-chested.
Right.
Big, wide shoulders, long arms. And that's consistent with people who have had what I think legitimate sightings, encounters.
Right.
That's like that. But the majority
of coned head, I don't see any coned head. Because those are things I would be looking for, that odd shaped coned head. Huge head, in fact. Eyes that are distant from each other, I don't know. I just think that's a person.
Nikki, were you saying that the person that took this saw this and like ran? Is that what the story was?
Yeah, there is a video. I didn't pull it up, but he's coming up on it. It looks exactly like that, and then it moves back behind the tree, and he just beelines it, and that's the end. Okay, it takes all of 5 seconds for the whole video. But that's it. No other, backstory with it or anything else. So, and that's my whole thing is there should be, if you're out there and you're filming and you're really out there, hiking or camping and you're just natural film taking, you can tell when somebody's not they have hours of footage of nothing and then they pan and there's something, maybe there's something there.
You can tell when it's organic and when it's staged.
Right. And there's something afterwards, usually. Somebody running away and you see the camera the whole way to the car, or
not only that, Nikki, if you spotted Bigfoot in the woods, you're going to film that thing till you can't see it anymore.
Right.
And you're going to put the whole video up, no matter what people can see or not can see.
Right. Now, I have never had an experience, so I don't know if I'm going to be flight or fright or fight, whatever I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to be scared, shitless, or if I'm going to turn and run.
Right.
But
True.
so I don't know, but it still, I put it up.
Anthony, what I was looking for. Remember recently I showed you that one with the top 10 Bigfoot, and it shows that one that breaks a tree and throws the tree.
Oh yeah.
Remember that one? I mean, this thing literally takes a tree and throws it like 40 feet away. And I don't mean like a giant tree, but one that it probably looks 20, maybe 30 feet tall. And it's one of those like just throws it.
10-year-old sapling, something like that.
I've been trying to find it for you. I can't. I don't know.
Oh, I think I have it somewhere. I'll see if I can find it. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I don't agree with some of the analysis on heights and stuff like that, but overall, it is something throwing something big and heavy. And for a human, it would be really awkward. Okay. Yeah. Not that maybe a really strong guy couldn't do it, but a tree is awkward and it'll fall forward when you try to lift one up from one side.
Maybe
so
it was a bamboo stick that they made it look like a tree. Who knows? Right?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I believe Sasquatch are out there. I believe it's an undiscovered species that just is out there. Right. There's probably not many of them. It's a puppet. It's Don King. It's Don King, everybody.
There you go. That's the one I'm thinking of. So this one also just came out. And of course, I'm maintaining that everything's anonymous. Okay. So this photo was captured and was said to have appeared within a second and then disappeared again. And it came from a video that came from this right here. Okay. Now it was a video and I screen captured because nowhere in the whole video do I see this in the video.
Right. Where's that log that's down?
So the only log you see laying like that
on the floor
is down here on the bottom right. And there's no greenery behind it or it's a completely different.
Why don't you see the body of that, whatever it is?
Right. It's just
beaver.
So I thought maybe
Dino beaver.
It's not that way. Maybe he inverted it and maybe it's a tree standing straight up.
The original picture, it looks like it's sideways. Like you should tilt your head to your left
and I did that. I took this and I did
circles. You're right, Enzo.
Yeah, I took it.
And the tree above him is vertical too, and the one below that, it's the wrong way. It's got to be flipped.
I still couldn't find the right tree that this was. Either way,
I mean, don't.
I moved it all over the place trying to match that photo up, and I couldn't do it. I tried. So you just gotta be careful. Don't believe everything you see, please, people. So here's another one. The picture on the left with the Bigfoot.
It's a nest. It's a bird nest.
A bird nest.
Look. When you invert the picture, hold on a second.
When you inverted the
I think it's a bird nest. When you invert the picture, it looks like pine needles off a tree or something behind that tree.
Oh, that's what it does look like.
That's exactly what it is. It's moss hanging off a branch.
It could just be a branch.
See that very, very back? That's why I thought maybe it was way back there in the back, but
sideways. It's moss hanging off a tree branch. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Off the tree branch. Then it's higher. Maybe it's way up higher than what I was looking. Anyway, it's still crazy. This one is the comments under this photo on the left were like, "Oh wow, cool! They put it on there way back then and believe, but this is not the original photo, folks. The original's on the right. It was a bear. People just change things up, okay? Don't believe everything you see." He did a good job.
Yeah, he did a good job. It fits perfect.
Yeah.
It does look good.
So be wary. You can find this information online, but yeah, you got to put a little work into it. Just that's all I'm saying. You got to put a little work. Wait, okay. Next. That insert picture sideways. Yeah, Western. I know. I put it all different ways. I still couldn't find it. Oh, look what time is it now? It is. I know you have that on yours too, Anthony. That little dancing guy. Yeah. I love your intro and your outro, by the way.
I got him flipping the bird at the end, Bigfoot. He flips the bird to everybody at the end.
It's fun. So in the news, off of the Mirror and the Daily Express, Bigfoot mystery as huge 7.5 ape-like creature spotted roaming on Google Earth. Ooh. Do we all remember this photo that recently came out?
Yeah.
It came out alrighty and sent everybody thinking, wow, how cool is that?
Good idea.
Well, I'm going to show you a little how cool. I took the coordinates myself, put them into the Google, and I found it. I did find it and took some more pictures of it, but not good enough. I think I need to show you exactly how to debunk stuff on your own. Okay? So let this come up. Oh, you guys seeing the map?
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Yep. Let's take a little tour looking for Bigfoot. Oops. Come on. You're not going to go for me? I know I have so much stuff up right now. It should go. Why is it not going? I had it set to do something really cool.
There we go.
I'll have to do it manually now.
Oh, they dropped a pin too. Bigfoot.
That was me. So I could find it again.
Thank you, Forestry Service.
So here we go. That's as close as I can get. Okay. So it doesn't it look like a Sasquatch walking? Like he's taking a big old stride there.
Yeah, but he would be 200 feet tall if it was a Sasquatch.
Yeah, it'd be pretty big.
So, yeah, and that too. So I dropped it into 2D is what I did. And then I flipped it so you can look at it from a different perspective.
It's a hole.
So yes. So now that you're looking at it from the opposite end in 2D, you can see it's flat. Okay, it doesn't have any height to it. It's just a big hole out there. Okay?
Or a burn brush, like a.
And you can go further with that if you want. Okay, and we can measure from the bottom of the foot down to the top here.
13 foot.
About 10 foot here to there. Wait. Now I got.
Oh no! Now you're building a nest. Look out!
I know. What the heck?
There's also no shadow on the ground, which we see shadows on the rocks and bushes next to it.
So
could be a patch of stagnant water, or
Plus,
maybe a camper burned some grass over there, putting out the fire, whatever.
It's about 11 feet. It's not very big, folks, but it is a hole. It's not Bigfoot. Not Bigfoot.
Plus this angle, I mean, we're talking about a satellite photo. It would have to be laying sideways. It'd have to be doing that on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Good work, though, Nikki.
Now we all know Google's constantly correcting their images and uploading new images and stuff, but this imagery date was from August 26th of 2019 and newer. They don't like to put the exact time on there. It just says 2019 or newer. But so it's still there, and you all can find that.
Good work, though.
That's good.
So that's what you can do. Little things.
And it's probably around 11, probably around noontime, because if you look at the shadows, they're not that far off.
Yeah.
So the sun's probably as close to, or maybe not even, maybe it's 2 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's not a time on it. But anyway, there we go. So what do we've got next? That was in Colorado, by the way, if you noticed that. But anybody wanting to Google it yourself, I did put the address in the description, so you guys can go check it out yourself. But it made the news. So next, we have men in Utah take potential Bigfoot footage to the local news. Now, I got excited. It said it was from 2 days ago, and I went to pull up the video, and what do I see? Oh my God, it's the Provo, Utah Bigfoot again.
Oh boy.
Okay, from many years ago. 3 years ago, we saw the Provo Bigfoot. And, you know, I don't usually do this, but if you want a good investigative thing on the Provo, Utah, go to Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. He's got tons of that crap. So, I don't support him, but he's got a good one. He went out there and walked the whole area, and he's got it all on video. So, more power to him. It says you can't just see something that's maybe a once in a century discovery and go to your 9-to-5 job. You got to go look for your footprints or some kind of evidence. Quote. Somebody said that. I don't know who. Anyway, moving right along. We have got alleged Bigfoot video recorded in Ohio Salt Fork State Park. Now, it says up there Australia's channel was featuring this. I don't know why. I don't know why it says that. This is what was attached to the story, that these Bigfoot hunters meant business when they went in to investigate Salt Fork State Park in Ohio for signs of the legendary Sasquatch. Mysterious footage of the large and hairy bipedal creature is teased before the rest of the search is shown. They begun their hunt at a warning sign indicating there's dangerous cliffs in the area ahead and to stay on the marked trails. Where are my videos? Sorry. It must have disappeared when I got rid of Enzo.
Enzo stole him when he left.
That's right. He fell into the same wormhole I did.
Yeah. Everything went kafooey. Oh, dang it. I know what happened. It's right here. Hold on.
Enzo, you sexy beast. Yeah.
Maybe I need to do the right one here. Okay. That should be the right one now. So what we have is actually it's off of a TikTok, Haunted Frog 118. If you go to their channel, you will find nothing but videos. Why won't you play? Maybe if I do it this way. Can you see the Haunted Frog?
Yeah, their like homepage or whatever you call it.
Yeah, their homepage is nothing but that kind of stuff on their page. And then you have the lowly Ohio Grassman one. But it's not playing for whatever reason. Oops.
Oop.
I have no idea why it's not playing. It keeps jumping. Oh, because it's thinking. That's because of my stupid computer, guys. Anyway, it goes on.
To act it out now.
These guys are just jumping. They keep following a guy out there and saying that looking for something, and you just see a shadow walking out there. And then near the end, this guy yells out. There's something that yells out in the end. And it won't let me share. I don't know why. Dun, dun, dun. So that you can find that on Haunted Frog 118 if you guys want to go and look at that. But it's kind of ridiculous, and it's not a Bigfoot, even though the comments under the section on Facebook is where I found it are just ridiculous. That best footage ever and all this stuff. Okay, just do.
They're on the internet. That means they're an expert.
Yeah, you have to do a little search for stuff and check things out. It's not going to play for me. Maybe the whole thing's deleted.
Salt State.
And now for my Nikki's Notions. No matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and never give up. That's my words of wisdom for today.
Very wise.
Like that.
Nikki, where are you from? You sound like my relatives in Minnesota. Really? No, I'm from Arizona. Arizona here. Arizona gal. So you have got to be on the lookout, everybody. Be on the lookout. We have Tate Hieronymus has his search for Sabe. Episode 4, Idaho, has come out. Go watch it. We got to support these guys. They're great documentarian, him and Alex. So I've listed that also down in the description for you guys to go check out. And a reminder, Mount St. Helens Sasquatch Shindig. It's a happening. It's growing by the day, people. So it's a dry camping situation. You need to have your own transportation, your own gear, your own food and water has to be carried in. It's right on the side of Mount St. Helens. It's going to be a great event. It's build your own itinerary type of thing. We're there for the kumbaya of the whole thing, to get to know everybody that we've been talking to for years and sit by that campfire and tell stories. So, yes. And Anthony, Ron, and Eric from Paranormal Highway are totally interested in going. So,
did Eric reach out to you yet?
No. I don't think so.
Typical.
That's normal.
But I think I did extend you guys invitations, correct? I did send you guys the invitations. So as soon as we get closer and you guys can confirm you're going, just shoot me a message.
This is right for Eric.
I will let you guys in on the secret messenger where we're all talking. And it's going to be exciting. I'm so excited for that. Is Leon in the house? I know Leon's excited too.
That's
Leon
gonna be
Thompson's going to be coming. We got Thomas Steenberg coming, Bill Reed, Jerry Matthews, Michael Gallagher. We're hoping for, of course, Alex Petikoff and Tate Hieronymus to come. It's too far out for them to give a definite yes.
Yeah.
Myself, Brent, the tall ones, Curious Cryptid, Steve. There's going to be a bunch of us. Grasshopper. So it's going to be exciting.
Anthony, we're going to rent an RV, right, and drive across country?
Yeah, no, I want to go to this. I told him I'll fly out, and then we'll just go with he'll drive because it's like an hour and a half from him.
Yeah.
Swing the mystery machine by my house and pick me up.
Yeah. We should really do this, Ron.
I plan on it. Yeah.
Who doesn't want to go to Mount St. Helens? Let me tell you, it's going to be a great gathering of people.
And you're going to go out
we don't want to make it huge. What's that?
You're going to go out night hunting and everything?
I don't know. We'll see. I've heard the campground we're going to be at is actually the site of an encounter of one of my friends. So I don't know. If I get scared, I might not.
Well, I'm down. Bring the
Ron bear mace for Christmas so he could bring his bear mace.
That's right. Yeah, I don't care. You see that picture they had with the guy that they faked it, and on the mountain they put up Bigfoot, but it was a bear? That's what I was worried about. That. Anthony thought I was joking when we went to Cambians. I said, "You got bear mace, or you bring me a gun or whatever?"
I think I'm more scared of bear and the mountain lions than I am of Bigfoot, though.
You just curl up in a bowl and suck your thumb. The thing will walk off.
Oh my God!
I'll do that too.
Oh God! Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
So anyway, that brings us. Don't forget to help support the channel. I've got my buy me a coffee set up, and I am on the works. My commissions page is going to be up pretty soon, so you can commission your own woodwork, your wood burning, through me, and I will do you something, whatever you want.
Oh, cool.
This one is for Mr. Lee. I still have it. It's finally all dried and set up.
Can you make yourself full size for that? Because it is a pretty great piece of artwork.
You burned that? You said?
I did. Yeah. How do I do that?
I like that. Yeah, that came out great.
So that one's for Mr. Lee. He's in London. So it's got his flag on there. And that's going to be going out to him this coming week, for sure. Absolutely, for sure.
Nice. That's nice. That's really great work, Nikki.
And I was looking at prices people are charging for those things. That's a lot. This is the one I just finished too. Ouch. This is a bigger one. Oops. This is a bigger one.
That's nice.
Look at that.
That is really nice. I love that. How long did that take you to make?
This one, I don't know, because I was doing it off and on.
Amazing.
I never planned on doing them to get paid. So the little one took me 4 hours.
Yeah, I would definitely buy that.
It takes me longer to, polyurethane them.
That looks incredible.
In the cold, they take longer to cure.
I love it.
You put the resin over them, right?
Yeah.
You pour it. Yeah, I love that. That looks so nice.
Great job.
I'm lazy though. I have I put a laser on my CNC router. So I took the blade off and I put a laser on it. So I'm being lazy now. I don't like that because I mess up too much.
I think that laser stuff is so cool too. That's neat. I have so many things. You guys, I want to thank you all for coming. And we've had a great discussion. And everybody in the chat, I don't know. What's coming up for you, Anthony?
I don't even know what day it is. We just did our show a few minutes ago, Wednesday. I have a show coming up lunchtime for Witness Wednesday. I think we're doing something about the gray aliens and abductions in your sleep or something like that. I think it was.
Nice. And Ron?
There's two things. One, Wednesday at 7 o'clock, every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern time, I have a show called Space Talk where Jim Goodall joins me, and Anthony comes on most of the time lately. He's on there with us all the time, but Jim Goodall, the star of the show, he's there, and I'm going to be probably popping out a video in the next few days. It's going to be on Apophis, the asteroid, the one from 2029. Working on that, yeah. Going to be a cheerful video.
A cheerful video.
Asteroid.
He does a lot of research on that stuff. He can project out into the future using the NASA devices and tell you exactly where that asteroid's going to be in 2029, Ron. So I think I'm the first person to ever do that, to be honest with you.
Wow. Enzo, thank you so much for being here and supporting me.
Thank you for having me and kicking me out and bringing me back. And
Baby, come back. You know that song? That's the song she played when you left. Baby, come back.
Hey, you guys out there, if you like my program, my content, hit that like button, comment below, share it. Sharing is important for all of us. Go to these guys, find their links down in the description, and we shall see you next week. Yeah, you'll see me on Tuesday and Thursday with Jojo. Friday on my hijinks show. I'm all over the place. You guys can find me all over the place. Good night, you guys.